All right, this is something that I wouldn't normally do a video on, but this video is on casters. Your equipment is riding on these things. I've had a small battle with casters over the years, and so I thought I'd put something together. Okay, so this is a 3-inch caster. The wheel itself is solid plastic. It can carry a lot of weight. But we found there to be some issues with these particular casters. They were good for carrying weight, but unfortunately that was about it. Okay, here's one of the caster boards that we keep around the shop here. They all have these types of casters on them, plastic. Now, here's the issue with these. The 3-inch size is okay. They actually need to be larger, but the problem is when we are pushing this caster board across, when we're pushing it across an asphalt parking lot or a cement parking lot, these casters do nothing to absorb any of the shock. So what that means is that when we're pushing equipment across something that's a non-smooth surface, it just shakes the hell out of and vibrates anything that's on it. It can carry a lot of weight, but what it cannot do is absorb a lot of the shock. All right, one of the other issues that we have with these particular casters is there's no dust guard around this opening here where the ball bearings sit in here, which is what makes this turn and glide. So what happens is that when we are rolling this across the floor, and this could be on inside at a hall or anywhere, anything that's long and stringy, let's say that gets picked up by the tires, it can wind up in here. And you don't want to get really anything in here because what's in here is all the grease for the bearings. So then after a period of time, you probably have to re-grease these in here. If not, the bearings will eventually wear out. So really, these do exceptionally well on very smooth surfaces, like inside of a garage or in a hall someplace like an exhibition hall. But anything other than that, they do absolutely terrible. So to remedy this, we actually went to, hoping to look for something to be sort of a direct replacement, we went to this type of caster. It's the same size. It's a 3-inch caster, but it's actually about a 1/4 inch shorter than what you saw that came off of the original caster board. They're rubber, but they're fairly solid. However, it fixed all of our vibration issues. So with a lot of the vibration issues fixed, we still had a problem. Okay, so here's the problem that we were having. And this also was a problem with the hard plastic wheels as well. When we were pushing a case, and if we had to get up and over let me turn around a little bit better. If we had to get up and over a piece of plywood, and I believe what I'm looking at here is maybe a 3/8 inch plywood. But if we had to get up and over it, it was very difficult to push the caster board with, I'm going to say maybe an average of 150, 200 pounds on it to get it up and over a piece of plywood. Now this plywood, the height of the depth here, just the depth of it, is about the same as what we have on the trailer. So when we would load that trailer, we usually make it to this point here. We'd have to pick up the caster board a little bit to get it past this point so we can move it on. So think of any kind of a ledge or a ridge or anything like this, and any place you'd have to load in on. It became a problem. Okay, so what we ended up doing was actually going with a much better caster. This is a 4-inch caster, which is usually a standard size with a lot of the casters that comes on caster boards, as well as the kind of casters that show up, let me just go down here, take a look here, on cases as well. These are more of a rubberized tire than this 3-inch here. This is still a little bit solid, a lot more solid than this one. But this one does phenomenal in going across asphalt, concrete, anything that's a rough surface. There is absolutely no vibrations with it. And the red ring down here, this is a dust cover. So when this caster is sitting up like this and being in use, as stuff kicks up on the tires, as you're rolling it along, as it kicks up in it, this dust cover is keeping a lot of the stuff out. This may seem like a trivial thing here, but it actually can make a big difference in how the caster is going to perform. Okay, and then back on the this plywood situation here, when we're trying to cross over a small threshold, this is a lot easier to push across. So what we've been doing is moving away from these. So they handle great amount of weight, but they are a big problem on asphalt, concrete, anything that's non-smooth. We went to this. These were okay, but still sort of a disappointment just because it was a 3-inch tire size. So we ended up going with the 4-inch, which is more standard on equipment as well. We've got a dust cover, and really there is absolutely no vibration. So we're not getting rid of these type of caster boards or the casters. Especially around here in the shop area. They're great to put equipment on and move around as we need, but when we take gear and we go out on shows or production, we rarely use these types of boards just because of the fact that these solid plastic tires, I think, give us more problems than what it's worth. Okay, so for example, for equipment, we have this rack sitting here. It's got it's probably got about 150 pounds on it. Not much at all, but we are still using one of these caster boards with those plastic wheels, which we just use this to move this equipment around this area as we need. If we were to take any of this stuff with us for an event, it's coming on its own. It will not be coming out on this type of caster board. Okay, so here's a smaller caster board. That's got the 3-inch wheels on it, and this is what we use just to sort of move the speakers around here in the shop area. Here is a 2.5-inch caster. Don't ever use these for anything other than to store equipment on. Okay, and so a lot of the blue tires that maybe a lot of you have seen, maybe you have them on your equipment. These are all 4-inch tires. These are like the other ones, they got a slight rubber to them. And next door to it over here, and I'll show you here, that's the RCF case. It's using the 4-inch rubberized casters. It does very well, sit on the asphalt. Vibrations are very, very minimal. So it's perfect because we got powered speakers in here. But in here, there's absolutely nothing that's powered. Okay, here's one of the 4-inch casters that I showed you, one of the loose casters. We have replaced right here, we've replaced the 3-inch tires with the 4-inch ones, and this is what we bring out to a show because it glides across the asphalt very easily. Vibrations, very minimal. Okay, so what I've had to do over the period of time is I've had to make some larger caster boards to support the greater weight and more equipment that we have to carry around. And as you can tell, these are all the 4-inch casters. All right, well, I hope this helps. And don't forget, your equipment is riding on these things. So you don't need to spend an awful lot of money, but you certainly don't want the cheapest. Thanks for watching.